It's Tuesday, June 20th. This is an end of the day SPY recap, and today we end up with a two down day that took out the low of the previous day and closed somewhat neutral, a little bit biased to the downside, a little bit red, but kind of near the open. So it was an inside day on Friday. We had a long weekend, and then we opened down. So in terms of, I talked about an inside bar potential failure. That would have occurred if we opened up kind of in the middle of this area, tested kind of the low, didn't really follow through, and then came right back up through the range. Or if we opened up right near the low of that and immediately went up. Here we were gapping down a little bit, beyond the low of the previous day. And then I'll show you in a second, we started lower. So there was no real failure there. But what did happen was we have a two down day from the previous inside bar. It reached its target, which is this low right here, its first target anyway. It didn't really follow through much from there. So it's possible we get the kind of the 1, 2 down, 2 up tomorrow if we can stay above. Now we have a good reference point to stay above this green line, which is the open of the week. If we start up tomorrow above that green line, we take out, you get a 2 up bar. That depends where the opening price action is in the pre-market range. But if we start up, then all of a sudden on this weekly chart, which is green from last week with a little bit of a selling tail near the top, we're at the halfway point of that bar on this gap down, and we could definitely continue up higher along with this big trend. So that we'll figure that out tomorrow. On the other hand, if the market wants to stay below this green line, the open of today, and then start lower, then we might be testing some lower targets in here, but we're still just an inside bar from the previous week. So in terms of the weekly chart, we have a long way to go to get that a 2 down week or anything close to that. Even if we go down and have a big red week and we don't take that low, it's still an inside week, and you don't know what that means for next week. But in terms of the red bar, we certainly expected a little lower to start and then to see what happened. And in this case, what it was you had the, you're below the midpoint of the prior day, so there's no up bias at all. First bar is neutral, second bar, red down. There's right there, your sell signal, anticipating a little lower, but knowing you're kind of going counter trend. And you actually had like 45 minutes of really nice trading there. So, my methodology, if you take that, is to scale out and then set up a no risk trade and see if you get the follow through. In this case, it came down, really nice gains at some point in here. Then it had this little orderly pullback, and it was trying to go lower. And you can see here, once after an hour and a half, it couldn't curl over and test those lows, and it started up. There's your break-even point, so to speak. And from that point on, came out, took out the high of the day, but didn't really go much, just kind of stayed neutral from that point on. And you end up with this kind of neutral bar. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, but we have good reference points now. We have the open of the week. We know if we get a 2 up, we could be then coming back through the range to the upside to take out that weekly high of last week. If we don't do that and stay below the green line, then we could be having a deeper pullback. But we also know there's some fair value gaps to fill in here, but at any point on this inside week we could reverse higher. So we're kind of looking for that reversal higher. It might happen tomorrow, but if we don't, then maybe we come down. If we can't really get much below the midpoint of the prior week, then maybe we get the reversal by the end of the week. Or maybe we continue red day after day after day. But at the moment, with this big trend in place, we're kind of patiently waiting for the buy signal. And that's why even today, when you have your sell, it looked like it was pretty devastating, and it might have a big day, at least 2 pushes down, I would have expected. But, given the strength of the uptrend, that's why it doesn't happen. So it was an easy opportunity to do no worse than break even in here and probably take small gains. You didn't get the follow. I was hoping for 1 push down, pause, second push down. That would have been the good place to take profits. But in this case, you should have had small gains either way if you're trading the SPY. And now we have to, on this kind of neutral day, kind of judge this reference line, the green line, see if we go above it and get a 2 up day tomorrow, or do we continue this little pullback, a little bit lower and keep monitoring it on that basis below the green line tomorrow. So we'll see where price opens tomorrow.